This is after Yahu came to Paul and restored his sight and baptized him, and he got filled with the Ruach HaKodesh. This is immediately after that. Acts chapter 9, starting at verse 20. And straightway, this is talking about Paul, Sha'ul, and straightway he preached Mashiach in the synagogues, that he is the son of Elohim. But all that heard him were amazed, and said, Is not this he that destroyed them which called on this name in Jerusalem, and came hither for that intent, that he might bring them bound unto the chief priests? But Sha'ul increased the more in strength, and confounded the Yahudim which dwelt at Damascus, proving that this is very Mashiach. And after that many days were fulfilled, the Yahudim took counsel to kill him. They were amazed because it was Sha'ul. They were thinking about the old Sha'ul, the old Paul. They went back to the old ways. They weren't praising him for changing his ways, changing his life, giving his life to Yahusha HaMashiach, and for doing the work of the kingdom. They weren't praising him for that. Instead of doing that, they looked back to what he used to be, what he used to do, and that's what they'll do. People that don't want to get alignment with the kingdom, people that don't want to come out of the darkness and come into the light, that's what they'll do. They'll bring back your history. They'll try to make you look like you're not who you are today. They're living in the past when you're living in today. You can't allow them to drag you back in the past, because everybody that is in Yahusha is a new creature. But Sha'ul, he didn't care about what they were talking about. See, you can't care about what people are talking about. They're going to bring up your history, bring up your past, try to make you look bad, but you're not the same person as yesterday. You are who you are today. When you're a kingdom citizen, you are a kingdom citizen. When you're in Yahusha, you're in Yahusha. You're a new creature. So what somebody else is talking about don't matter. You can't change the way people think, because everybody controls their own mind. That's why you have to be transformed by renewing your mind. See, you can't change people's minds. They have to be transformed by renewing their own minds. So if they decide to hold on to the past, that's on them. We're not living in the past. We're living for today, and we're living for the future. We're not living for the past. The past is our lessons that we learn. So Sha'ul, he didn't allow what they were talking about to diminish him. What does it say in verse 22? It says, But Sha'ul increased the more in strength. When we are weak, he is strong. We have wisdom through Yahusha. We have strength through Yahusha. We have everything we need through Yahusha. So it don't matter what nobody's talking about. We increase the more in strength. We lean on him. We trust in him. We're not trusting in what nobody else talking about. We're trusting in Yahuwah. We're trusting in Yahusha. We're trusting in the word. And that's what that's what the foundation is. So what everybody else talking about don't matter. They living in the past, that's on them. So in verse 23, look. And after that many days were fulfilled, the Yahudim took counsel to kill him. They have to take counsel to kill you. And that can be physically, that can be mentally, that can be spiritually. They try to kill you. They try to talk bad about you. They try to bring you down because they can't deal with you with wisdom. So they got to take another route. There's no wisdom in the world. They can't say nothing to you when you found it in the word, when you trust in Yahuwah with all your heart, and you're not leaning on your own understanding. You're too strong. When you're living through Yahusha, you're too strong. They can't knock you off your square. You're too strong. So they gotta take counsel to kill you. Look, verse 29. And he spoke boldly in the name of Adonai Yahusha, and disputed against the Yavanim, but they went about to slay him. See, he continued speaking boldly in Yahusha. He continued preaching the gospel. He didn't waver. He stood in faith, and they couldn't dispute with him. They couldn't deal with that. Only thing they could do is try to kill him, try to slay him. When people don't want to change, that's all they can do. All they can do is try to slay you with words. All they can try to do is break your spirit. All they can try to do is get you out of faith, because you're too strong. You're up here, they're down here. Darkness can't overcome light. Since darkness can't overcome light, the only thing they can do is get you into darkness. They want to get you out of the light and into the darkness. And then once they get you into the darkness, they got you. Because now you're going to be doing the same thing they're doing. They're slaying you with words. Now you're going to slay them back if you let them bring you down to their level, to the darkness. That's why you stay on a righteous path. You stay in light. That's why We wrestle not with flesh and blood. It's a spiritual thing. So we give everything to Yahuwah. He fights our battles for us. We stay strong in faith.